What did your sibling do that made you know they were a monster? It started with a phone call that still echoes in my head. My sister, Emily, called me one morning and said, "This is your fault." Her voice flat and almost amused. Seconds later, she sent me a photo that made my stomach drop. Her once pregnant belly completely flat, dried blood streaked across her thigh like a cruel accusation. That image sent me spiraling back to where everything began 2 years earlier, when Emily first told me she was pregnant and sobbed on my bedroom floor, saying she never wanted to be a mother. She told me the baby's father was a nobody she met at a rave, someone who vanished the next morning. Then she looked me dead in the eye and said I had to take the baby. She reminded me that I'd always liked kids, while she never had, and said it was perfect timing for me. I was 19 and preparing to leave for Oxford in 3 months. I told her she could defer her plans, that I'd help financially, that I'd be involved as an aunt. When I refused to give up my future, she immediately went to our parents, and that's when my life turned into a living nightmare. My mom called daily, lecturing me about family duty and sacrifice, insisting school could wait but motherhood couldn't. My dad was even harsher, telling me if I didn't step up, he'd disown me completely. The family group chat exploded with messages from relatives calling me selfish and heartless. Emily started sending ultrasound photos with captions about my future baby, and then she announced online that her amazing little sister would be raising the child while she focused on her career. When I tried to correct the lies, she reported my posts until they were taken down. Things escalated fast. Emily started shipping nursery furniture to my college dorm. My roommates thought I'd lost my mind. One afternoon, I came back from class and found a crib fully assembled beside my desk. That was the breaking point. I made a public post stating clearly that I was going to Oxford and would not be raising anyone's baby. I sent one final message to the family chat saying I refused to sacrifice my future for Emily's choices, then blocked everyone. Emily showed up at my dorm screaming that I was killing her dreams, and campus security had to remove her 2 days later. Not long after, I got a call from an Oxford committee member asking me to confirm my deferral. My heart stopped. I told him there had been a mistake. He explained that I had personally called, citing a family emergency. I knew instantly it was Emily. A week later, I received court documents stating I was being listed as the adoptive parent of her unborn child. When I confronted her, she bragged that she'd filed the paperwork, claiming I was infertile and desperate for a baby. What she didn't know was that I recorded the call. Even with evidence, the process was brutal. I drained my savings on legal fees and delayed my travel plans. In court, the judge quickly saw through everything. After hearing the recording and my testimony, the case was dismissed almost immediately. I walked out feeling lighter than I had in years, believing it was finally over. For a week, there was silence. Then Emily called. She told me she hoped I was happy, laughing as she blamed me for what she'd done. Then came the photos. She told me she'd gotten drunk alone, consumed obscene amounts of alcohol, and intentionally harmed herself until she miscarried at 5 months. She slurred that I had forced her hand and accused me of killing her baby. I didn't argue. I hung up, called the police, and filed charges. I blocked my entire family and left town to stay with friends until my flight. 3 weeks later, I boarded that plane and left everything behind. 6 months into my life overseas, an old classmate sent me a news article. Emily had been convicted of feticide and sentenced to 12 years in prison. My family never reached out. I never spoke to any of them again.